A very good table. Would everyone rise, please? Commissioner Jeff Wall.
Mr. Chairman, tonight we have our own Commissioner Doug Stevenson that's going to lead us in our prayer and pledge.
Our Father, thank you so much for this day. Lord, just thank you for this opportunity to come here together. And Lord, I just ask you to allow us to use wisdom, and you're the ultimate wisdom giver, Lord. And I just ask you to put your covering hand on us and help us to use wisdom in making these decisions tonight. Lord, I just thank you for all your blessings today and just all that you do in our lives, Lord, for it's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Folks, we're meeting tonight on October the 19th at the West Tennessee Training Center at 317 Denmark Road in Jackson, Tennessee. It is the 19th, 2020, and it's a little after 6 p.m. We've had the pledge, we've had the prayer. Roll call.
Alexander. Here. Arnold. Yes. Beckham. Here. Brantley. Here. Brown Claudel. Brown Scott. Here. Bryant. Bush. Here. Compton. Here. Deaton.
Here.
Ellison. Here. Gobble. Here. Hale. Here. Johnson Arthur. Here. Johnson Barber. Martin. Here. Mercer. Here. Montague. Here. Pearson. Petty. Here. Spearman. Stevenson. Here. Taylor. Here. Wall. Here. 20 present, Mr. Chairman.
20 present. 5 didn't know where we were meeting. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting of September the 21st? So moved. Have a motion by Commissioner Brantley, seconded by Commissioner Hale. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Presentation by the county mayor.
We have none tonight, Mr. Chairman.
Announcement from the chair. I'd like to mention the fact that we had several discuss the possibility of finding a permanent home for the county commission. It's been suggested we look at the finance committee, large room in the finance office, and it's a possibility we can look at that. We'd have to get a rendering and see if it's large enough and cost of remodeling and what it would be, but that is something we can discuss at a further meeting. It's not on the agenda. Just be thinking about it. It's the only place I know of that county owns that I know of right now that we could possibly find a room that's large enough to utilize on a regular basis. Report from our school superintendent, Dr. Marlon King.
Good evening, Mr. Chair. Just a report on schools. We are in session with our in-person student selection. We will have more of our in-person students returning next Monday. Around 7,500 students will be coming. Our COVID cases for isolation and quarantine continue to be low in schools. Learning continues. Virtual packets will be going out to our students to make sure that learning continues for those families. The JCM in Madison project, JCM was delayed due to some construction workers having to be isolated and quarantined, but it's back on schedule. We applied for a $500,000 grant, but we received $800,000 for more support around technology devices for COVID-19. We are partnering with our faith-based community to support our virtual learning options for students in hubs. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Superintendent. Anyone have any questions for Superintendent King? Item number 6, report from the Finance Director, Mrs. Karen Bell.
I want to bring up the fund balance report to show you where we currently stand, the amendments that will be approved tonight. If the amendments that are approved tonight, the general fund is $10,388,704.46. And the capital fund also has some amendments tonight, and if those are approved, that will bring that fund balance to $1,580,103.54. Also want to bring you up to date, just because it is an ongoing thing, and I'll have another amendment next month for $150,000. Currently, we're at $236,415.15 on legal fees related to the sheriff's lawsuit. This is just the county's expenses with a cap of $20,000 for the sheriff. We've not paid any of those legal fees, so we'll have to bring an amendment back to you next month for $150,000. Additionally, we have 2 tax anticipation notes that I need to make you aware of. Does not require a vote. We've had to do one for $100,000 for Juvenile Court Services Fund and one for $100,000 for the Solid Waste Fund. And that concludes my report.
All right. Item number 7, report from county officials standing in special committees. Any old business, action thereon by this board. Commissioner Wall.
The bylaws committee met 2 weeks ago, Mr. Chairman, and the committee brings forth a recommendation to replace the late Commissioner Billy Spain with Commissioner Brett Becker.
What committee was that?
Bylaws.
Bylaws. Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Any other committee meeting? Committee report?
No other committee reports. I would like to, first of all, I'd like to suspend the rules, make a motion to suspend the rules in order to bring up an issue of the repair of Christmasville Road.
Second.
Have a motion and second to suspend the rules. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Now I'd like to give the floor to Bart Walls for his recommendation.
Thank you, Commissioner Petty. Just to give an update on Christmasville Road, we have bid the project out. We have a contractor ready to go to sign a contract with to get the repair started. We're in the process of acquiring right-of-way, and we have made offers to all 3 property owners to acquire a little bit of additional right-of-way in that area so that we can continue to maintain the new pipe that we're going to have installed there in the future. 2 of the property owners have agreed to accept the offers that we have made. The 3rd property owner we are still working with. We have extended an offer to him. He has not accepted as of yet, but I think we're close. And so what I wanted to bring before you tonight was an approval of the offers that we have made and have been accepted, as well as the offer we have extended and has not been accepted, so that we can continue to keep this project moving and we don't have to wait another 30 days or wait until the November commission meeting to get this project started. So the 3 offers that we have made, let me start with 2 that are approved. I'm sorry, that were accepted. Was to the first one was to a Mr. Roger Edmonds in the amount of $600 for .069 acres. The second offer was to a Louis Marbury and Sandra Marbury for 0.097 acres in the amount of $843. And the third offer that has not been accepted yet is to Miss Marilyn Cooper for 0.182 acres in the amount of $1,700. And so I believe Attorney Maroney has put together a resolution for us tonight. And do you want to explain that?
I'll just add that Superintendent Walls got together with me this afternoon and made me aware of these 3 offers. And so I prepared a resolution for you to approve them if you so desire. But because this resolution comes to you at this late hour, it would require a 2/3 vote to suspend the rules in order to vote for it. Only a simple majority then to pass the resolution. And it's on the board.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make that motion that we sign this resolution.
I'll second.
You need to suspend the rules first.
We already
We
have.
already suspended rules.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, first thing we did was suspend the rules. Do I have a motion? Who made the motion?
That was my motion to approve.
A motion, second by Commissioner Thompson. Any discussion?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Ellison?
I would like to know if that was supposed to come before the highway committee.
You'd like to know, I didn't understand what you said.
If it was supposed to come before the.
I would like to know if that was supposed to come before the highway committee.
Well, it may, normally that would be the process, but this late hour, they was trying to get this through, so it didn't come before the highway committee.
Yes, this has been washed out for a long time there, Commissioner, and
It might have been, but-
He mentioned that in order to save time, and all of my constituents are so inconvenienced by that road being closed, that we saved 30 days to get this done. We apologize for not bringing it to your committee because it was just done this afternoon. So, I mean,
it's
plenty of
the
time to get
procedure we're
touched
supposed
about
to
it. We
go through, and I
apologize
think
for
we
that.
should follow.
That's one we're gonna vote on. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Alexander? Yes. Arnold? Yes. Beckham? Yes. Brantley?
I pass on
Ma'am?
that. I pass on
All right, thank you. Brian Claudel? Brown Scott?
Yes.
Is that a yes, sir?
Yes.
Thank you. Brian? Bush?
Yes.
Compton?
Yes.
Deep?
Yes.
Ellison?
No?
Gobble? Yes. Hale?
Yes.
Johnson Arthur?
Yes.
Johnson Barber? Martin?
Yes.
Mercer?
Yes.
Sir?
Yes.
Thank you. Montague?
Yes.
Pearson? Petty?
Yes.
Spearman? Stevenson?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Wall?
Yes.
Anybody want to change their vote?
Well, I'm not sure. I heard 18 yes, 1 no, 1 pass.
18 yes, 1 pass, 1 no, motion passes.
Thank you, gentlemen, I appreciate it, and my constituents certainly do appreciate it.
Any other committee reports? That's it? Good. Item number 8 is Staffing and Oversight Committee, the process for the West Tennessee Training Center.
Mr. Chairman, this probably would need to come up under a committee report. The Financial Management Committee recommended the organizing of a board to oversee the training center. And y'all help me with 4 commissioners.
Well, here's what we have. We have 1 commissioner from the Budget Committee, 1 commissioner from the Capital Committee, 1 commissioner from the Finance Management Committee, and 1 commissioner from the Property Committee, County Mayor, 1 person from the Fire Department, 1 person from the NEA, and 1 person from the Chamber. And if this process is approved, this will go back to each one of those committees and each one of those departments.
And that was a committee recommendation.
Okay.
Chairman, didn't I think they had sheriff on there also.
Yeah, it should be on there. Didn't I say sheriff?
I didn't hear.
Sheriff will be on, yes, sheriff should be on there, yes.
So total of 8, Mr. Chairman?
9, would be 9. Wouldn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, be 9. That would be 1 commissioner from the Budget Committee, 1 commissioner from the Capital Committee, 1 commissioner from the Finance Management Committee, 1 commissioner from the Property Committee, the County Mayor, the Sheriff's Department, whoever he wants to appoint, 1 person from the Fire Department, whoever the Chief wants to appoint, and one person from the MEA, and one person from the chamber.
Will we know the names of the people?
Well, we won't know until the committee meets, until each department comes back next month with the name of each one of the persons they would have on the committee.
Oh, okay.
So tonight, we're just approving the process. Yes, Sheriff?
I know y'all approved that in the finance committee. I was wondering if you could add one more person from the sheriff's department, since I would be on the committee myself.
Sure, whoever you want to appoint, yeah.
That way we'd have two,
He does too,
since
and it'll be 10.
it's part of the complex.
Commissioner Hale?
We chose 9 to make it was an odd number, and then this is one of those committees that, I mean, more than just one person from your group can come and take notes and correspond and communicate, but not necessarily have a vote. And so I would recommend we stay with the 9 and then invite whoever we need to.
Yeah, you can bring anyone you want. Any department can bring as many as they want to, but you only got one person representing that committee. Any other questions about that? All in favor say aye.
Did that come from the Financial Management Committee recommendation?
It came from the Financial Management recommendation.
I'm sorry.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. So each committee, by next month, have the person you like to appoint to this committee. That includes the fire department, the sheriff's department, and MEA, and the chamber. Item number 9, any amendments or transfers to the general school fund, capital projects, highway department, debt service, juvenile court service, and budget for fiscal year 2020, 2021.
All of these were approved by the Finance Committee.
Yes, sir.
All right, Fund 141, General Purpose Schools, $2,500,000. This amendment restores the funds to General Purpose Fund balance from federal projects.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 2, $99,704 state priority school grant.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 3, $72,000 academics. This amendment reallocates funds for a data plan to allow virtual access to student learning.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Fund 142, school federal projects, $2,500,000. This amendment restores funds to general purpose fund balance from federal programs.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Fund 143, food services, $454,000. Fresh fruits and vegetable grant.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 6, insurance recovery, refund, $500. Received contribution to the amount of $500.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 7, Sheriff's Department, $12,929.39. Insurance recovery from damages to 2015 Ford Explorer.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 8, Sheriff's Department, $4,876.52. Recording SRO ball game overtime reimbursements.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 9, new programs, reappraisal program, $937.15.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 10, EMA, $25,000, sets up disaster relief budget for COVID-19 expenses.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
11, Election Commission, $25,000. Election Commission can receive a non-matching grant from state to enhance cybersecurity.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 12, Health Department, with $82,618.50. This grant splits county fiscal year the 1st, 2019 to September the 30th, 2020.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
State mandated. Item 13, Circuit Court for $5,000. Computer reserve to pay Nexus.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 14, Circuit Court for $5,000. Computer reserve used to replace old printer.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Transfers, item 15, Sheriff's Department, $26,700. Bridge Training Center, 2021 budget.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Saying Sheriff's Department, $200, reallocating funds to cover employee of month gift card to state flags.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
17, Health Department, chronic diseases, $660, increases maintenance agreement and utility lines.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 18, solid waste convenience centers, $18,000, base management hauls garbage for when driver is on vacation.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Health Department rate prevention, item 19, $21,700, full-time employee with 50% of the salary paid here and 50% paid in chronic disease.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 20, Finance, Sheriff's Department, $5,124.66, termination payout for Sheriff's Department employee in September.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 21, Sheriff, $8,550, purchase 10 Motorola radios, $750 each, and 10 remote speakers.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 22, Sheriff, $15,346.66. Money needed in addition to insurance for drug rail purchases of 2018 Ford Explorer will replace total 2015 Ford Explorer.
Karen?
Mr. Chairman, I just want to make sure that the commission understands. They had insurance recoveries in the amount of $12,929.39 that was approved as budget amendment number 7. This is additional funds that will allow for the purchase of a new vehicle to bring the vehicle purchase up to about $29,000.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
23, finance, highway, $6,549. Increased revenues for highway certification.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 24, maintenance, $38,000. Capital project replaces drain pipe in the roof at the courthouse.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Commissioner Taylor.
I've got a question about this because we voted $130,000 last month to replace the roof. And why are we coming back with another $38,000 now when probably this should have been approved
Gutters.
in that?
Gutters.
But we didn't take that into consideration the first time?
Evidently we didn't.
Did we bid this $38,000?
When I asked for the 130, it was a quote from a year ago.
It was 125, wasn't it?
That quote.
Quote was 125?
It was 125, and I asked for 130.
Okay.
After a year, it was 147.7 was the lowest bid. So it was 17,700 short. One of the roofers who was looking at the roof when I was showing it to him mentioned the drains, which I hadn't thought about, replacing drains. He said it'd be a good time to do it. The next day, I filled out the amendment form for $20,000 for drains. Because I was finishing up remodeling juvenile court building, I didn't have time right then, but it bought me, I was being proactive, it bought me the time. I had the money already being asked for. If I'd waited November, it would have been December, I never got the roof on. Because I'm having to work between Chancery Court schedule and the weather. So, that's why I asked for that. In case I do have to replace them, I got the money.
I guess the question me and I'm having, when you're replacing an old roof, is it customary normally to get a bid for the roof and the drain?
The roof was already bid out before the drains thing ever came.
That wasn't what I said. I said, is it customary to always ask, when you're replacing an old roof, would you normally always include the drains also?
Every bid I had at the office that I looked at, it said nothing about drains in them before.
What does the school system do?
Mr. Chairman, if I might, if I'm not mistaken, the drains within the courthouse that drains the roof are all cast iron original pipes that was put in initially. And if you remember all the issues we had with the cast iron stuff in the courthouse itself, the plumbing, we replaced all of it because it all decayed. So the point is that if these are in need of replacement, we need to do that.
Oh, absolutely.
When the roof's done.
I don't think anybody questions. I think what we're saying is the process in the future, when we get an old roof to replace, let's also include the drains with it.
Here's what the roofers told me. Every one of them said the same thing. We don't do drain pipes. We'd have to hire a plumber. Well, I can hire a plumber. I don't have to let them do it. The roofer.
I don't
They're
think.
gonna have to hire a plumber. I can get my local plumber.
I guess, my issue would be is whenever we have these large projects with large sums of money, I would like everything to be voted on at one time, if possible, instead of piecemeal. And like you said, Commissioner Deaton, this is the process. And I don't disagree that the roof doesn't need replacing and the drains need replacing, but we may need to go back and start all over again and do it right.
We ready to vote? Excuse me, Doug.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just one thing on the process, because we brought this up in financial management, and I think we do have a problem with the process, because when we're going to get an estimate, we're going to a roofer, and I'm not being ugly about this, But I asked you the question, the person that we went to for the estimate ended up getting the bid.
Sure.
To me, that's a little problem here. I'm not suggesting that the people aren't qualified and do all that. But it seems to me like on some of these larger projects, we need to go to an engineer or something like that to keep from having this type of situation where a person gives the estimate and then turns around and gets the bid. That doesn't sound, I'm not saying anything bad's going on, but it doesn't sound really good. So I guess my point, let me say one more thing. I guess my point is it needs to go to financial management or for us to get a process in place to help not just Mark's department, but for all departments on how to proceed with any type of bids, like on copiers or whatever we might be doing.
Commissioner Coffin.
I have a question for Ms. Bell, if I may. Ms. Bell, does the county finance office, do we have procedures with our centralized purchasing department to handle bids rather than department heads and departments doing their own bidding?
Yes, sir. All the bids do come through the purchasing department there, or purchasing director there at the county finance. The only thing that we ask from the departments is that they give us the specifications of what they want to be bid out, and then we have a process.
Was this roofing project done that way?
It was. Specifications were brought in from Mr. Aday and given to Mr. Bill Benson, and it went out to about 18 different vendors that were on our bid list.
Okay, but when we get estimates up ahead of time, we're kind of going backwards with that because we're advertising how much money that we have to spend up front. And that's, I guess, my issue is that, you know, when we get estimates and we approve money ahead of time and then we go out to get bids, it's amazing that every vendor all of a sudden knows how much money we have to spend, and then every bid comes in at our estimate cost or more. When, you know, I think this issue has come up before when we can do the bids, find out what the bids are, and then we can allocate money afterwards.
You have to make sure that your specifications are written and no bid will be awarded because there's no funding. You've got to make sure that language is in there when you.
Right, but as long as that language is in there, we can do it that way.
You can, as long as there is no funding allocated and those vendors know that on the front end.
Right, okay. Thank you.
Stay there. Mr.
So the three bids that came in that Mr. Aday was presented, one was out of Memphis, one was out of Nashville, and then one was local. And the one that was local was the one that gave us the estimate, okay? They were not even close. $100,000 off, right? So, and not necessarily, it's off definitely in our favor because it was a cheaper roof. And I'm all for saving money and I'm all for putting a new roof on this building. I just think we need to rebid the whole project, and to include the drain and anything else that might be an issue up there that we don't know about yet. Because I'm sure this roof is, you said 25 years old, and we know flat roofs are awful. And so I know there's going to be other things, and so if we had an A&E report done, I know it slows things down, but if there's not any extreme damage being done, I say let's look at this process and try to do it as best to our knowledge, as best as our ability, not just to get it done, if that makes sense. I think the money's there, I think we can do it, the capital expense is there, let's replace the roof, but let's like kind of use this as an example to better our process as we move forward.
I just comment on what you said. I think there is a great need to replace this roof because it's caused a great deal of damage in the past. So the longer we prolong the process, the more damage could possibly take place. Commissioner, Mr. Adair.
The bid process is the same on the last roof, and there was 4 people bid. Elite was a better bid on it. I think he was a better bid on the sheriff. He just happens to be the one with the best price every time. I don't know how, maybe Karen can tell you, if you've got to get quotes, you've got to come for the commission to get approved for the money, even whatever the quote is. That's public knowledge. They're always going to have a number. Are they not? So you're not hiding anything as far as what they got to go by because it's public knowledge. They're going to know it because you've got to ask for the money here.
We ready to vote?
Roll call.
Reverse vote, roll call.
Wall.
No.
Taylor.
No.
Stevenson.
No.
Spearman. Petty.
Pass.
Sir.
Pass.
Pearson. Montague.
No.
Mercer.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Johnson Barber. Johnson Arthur.
Yes.
Haley. Hill, I'm sorry.
No.
Gobble. Ellison.
Yes.
Deaton.
Yes.
Compton.
No.
Bush.
No.
Bryan. Brown. Scott.
Yes.
Brown Claudel. Brantley.
I pass.
Beckham.
No.
Arnold.
Yes.
Alexander.
Yes.
Anybody want to change their vote?
Okay, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I got you. I missed somebody, I don't know. I got 9 yes, 8 no. I'll figure out, you know.
That's only 19.
I know, 2 pass, I know, I'm missing something, I haven't figured it out yet. Good count.
Just one more time. Anybody leave?
Count for me, I did the same thing, I know it's not right, but.
You're missing 2 votes.
Sir,
You're missing 2 votes.
missing one.
1 vote.
We got 2 passes, 5 absent.
We got 9 yeses, 8 noes, 2 pass,
I'm missing one.
and missing 1 vote.
I don't see it. But anyway, even
Need
with
to
the
vote
vote.
again? Let's vote again.
Right, I mean, it should be here. I mean, I'm just not counting right. I'm sorry, y'all. This is just Colin. No Colin. Okay. There's 20. Oh, I did 24. All right, thank you. I'm sorry. Oh, we're missing one, Mr. Chairman. We got everybody. We got 24 total.
That's right.
So that's right, 982.
Motion fails.
Mr. Chairman, we have an amendment that came in after the Finance Committee met, and I move that we suspend the rules so we can take care of this. This is from EMA.
Have a motion to suspend the rules. Have a second, Commissioner Hale. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Go ahead.
Health equipment, $98,135.02. And motor vehicles, $98,135.02. Jason explained this to me, but I'm not knowledgeable enough on it to try to explain it.
Commissioner, this is from the CRF funding that came down from the governor. What this is, we're moving this $98,000 from health equipment to motor vehicles. That is 2 vehicles. One is a transport vehicle, and the other is a F-350 that's going to pull the mass casualty trailer. This is all part of the coronavirus relief fund, is what this is.
Do we have a motion?
I move its approval.
Have a motion?
Second.
Second, Mr. Hale. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
That's all the amendments, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Report from County Mayor.
Couple things, Mr. Chairman, I want to say thanks again to the Godwin family and the park they in essence leased to us for, I think, 25 years down Christmasville Road. It had an opening out there, February 22nd, and that family's been out in that world, gosh, I don't know how many years, but anyway, it's a very nice park. I think it's a real addition to our Parks and Rec department, especially out in that world, because we don't have anything out there. I just want to say thank you to the Godwin family for that. Just one other thing is, on our positive COVID cases, they've gone back up. They're not unmanageable, but a month ago, we were average, or the last month, we averaged 18 per day. But the last week, we've averaged 34 a day. And that's all, that's certainly manageable numbers. The little concern about the hospital, 2 weeks ago, the hospital, Jackson General, had 66 positive COVID cases. A week ago, they had 67, and today they had 96 positive COVID patients. And 29 of those patients are in ICU and 13 are on ventilators. And of that 90, of our 96 positive, well, not of those 96, but 19 of those people in the hospital in Madison County. So, you know, the numbers are going up. I think the numbers are still manageable. The hospital's done a really good job of adjusting and expanding when it needed to. But I'll tell you one thing, I hope if y'all see a healthcare worker, tell them how much we appreciate them, because they have really, really worked some really long, hard, emotional hours, lots of overtime. The governor had a conference call with him today, and they are coming out with some assistance to disproportionate healthcare facilities that have handled a large number of COVID patients, because everybody's getting stretched out because of the shortage of trained workers, and our nurses, our doctors, I'm telling you, they're just slammed and they're tired. And so this is some assistance from the state to help them to bring in some part-time people or some contract nurses to help out the situation. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Item number 11, Mr. Stan Powell. You're on.
This item was presented to the Planning Commission at their last meeting, and they are recommending approval of it to you. It is located, if you'll look in your package, you have the materials pertinent to this rezoning request. It is located on the north side of Gerdau Road, and occupies approximately 35 acres. And the petitioner is here if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
This is an open meeting. Anyone can speak as far or opposed to it.
Let's speak up here, or?
Come on up front, please, and give us your name.
I'm Wade Cash. I live on Gumwood Cove, which comes up to the back of Girdle. The only problem I have with this is the fact that there's an extreme amount of traffic already with semis. We've had problems with that, the jake brakes, the noise. There are also kids that are riding four-wheelers on that road, which they probably should not be. And I'm just not sure what kind of extra traffic that this is going to bring in that area. And it's a two-lane road anyway. I'm not sure you can handle that much traffic. I'm just concerned about the extra noise, the safety issue, and so on and so forth like that.
Commissioner Bush.
Stan, can you tell us some details about the project that is going on there? Who's asked for the land to be rezoned?
Yes, sir. I'll ask Josh Peter to come forward at this time. He's the petitioner, and I'll let him speak about the project and sort of the particulars. And also, there were some concerns about some of the trees that were along there as a buffer to the people on Gumwood, and I think they've got some information on that. But I'll let him speak to you about that.
To the use, it's going to be a distribution facility for books, Simon & Schuster Publishers. It's going to be a 400,000 square foot warehouse. Very similar to the facility they have in Milan, same purpose. The tenant told me that their standard traffic is 4 loads per day in and 4 out. And I've spent enough time up on Marysville Road that I completely understand just getting in and out of the site has been a challenge. So he says it'll be 4 loads per day, vans. So you won't have the traffic and unnetted loads with stuff falling out on Marysville. His employees are 10 to 15. So hopefully it wouldn't increase the traffic much. And obviously there's some plans to be able to expand, but they still plan to keep that to a 5 to 6 load maximum in their expansion.
Chairman, can you speak to the mic?
There ain't no mic here. Yeah, speak to the television.
I thought.
The mic.
I'll be happy.
It's a dummy.
I'll be happy to review.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I understand the concern with the traffic there. I would estimate 100 plus trucks a day in and out of Marysville. The proposed use is a distribution facility for books. It's very similar to the facility they have in Milan. They run 3 to 4 van loads per day in and out of that facility. His employees will be 10 to 15, depending on the time of year. So the increase in traffic should be minimal compared to the traffic that's there.
Are they going to use the same roads that the Gerdau uses?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's the Gerdau Road Drive. It's the access point from the site. I wish we had a better illustration, but there's an 8-acre buffer of trees between the proposed facility and the residential. That's a wetlands area, designated wetlands, so we can't disturb any of that vegetation, and it's heavily wooded area, 40 to 50 foot hardwood trees. That'll provide a buffer between the residential and proposed development.
You're going to build the building?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay.
Commissioner Wall.
Thank you, Chairman. That's actually in my district, and I have heard from many of the constituents that are on the Gumwood Drive and the Netherwood Drive, and I understand the buffer that we're talking about between Gerdau and the Jack Exum Road, or the Jack Exum Lane property. However, most of the residents that are on the Gumwood and the Netherwood area had the same sentiments as Pastor Wade Cash has concerning the noise, not only what already they're getting from Gerdau. If you live in that area, you know when steel meets water, how it explodes and everything like that. They're already getting all of that. The 18-wheel, I heard about 18-wheelers, Jake brakes, ATVs, just all kinds of stuff going on down there already. I'm not saying that I'm totally against this just yet. I do think that maybe a little bit more time may be needed to talk to more of the residents that are in that area before we make a decision on this. I would motion that we table this until next month to give me the time that I think I need to talk to the rest of the residents in that area, just because of the concerns that Pastor Cash has brought to us tonight.
Can I speak to the noise?
Absolutely.
As far as the noise is concerned, all of the trucks inside the warehouse are electric. There'll be zero noise from the warehouse. And these are late model van type trucks. They're not the tractors you see running up and down Marysville Drive going to Gerdau. We're also proposing to lower the whole site by about 6 feet. So the building would actually be setting 8 feet below a Marysville Drive elevation, which would also provide any more sound buffer for the trucks and vehicular traffic that be coming in for the employees.
Again, I mean, I understand that you're the developer, correct?
Correct.
So is the tenant actually here tonight?
No, sir.
Okay, so, I mean, not that I question you or what you're able to do or anything like that, but the tenant obviously will be the one making those types of decisions as to what's going to be going in there and what's not.
Correct.
So, again, I would just like the time, I would motion that we table this until next month to give the commissioners for this district some time to study this a little bit more, talk with the tenant maybe, the developers and the residents in the area to be able to move forward with this.
Have a motion second to table. All in favor say aye. Aye. Roll call.
I have a question before we do a roll call. Will a 1 month delay, will that have any impact on the project?
Yes, sir.
What would be the impact if we delay for 1 month?
Well, we have two options. Enough of the land is now zoned I-3 that we could actually facilitate the project without this rezone. This just, the way the land lays in there, it'd be a tremendous field to bring the rest of the site back up to accommodate it without the rezone. So one is we can move forward with the development of the project. Just have to change the layout of the building. It wouldn't impact the traffic or the noise, but it would impact the grading of the site. Another thing is if we had to wait another 30 days, we'll be outside of our lease execution period and could possibly lose the deal.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Let me also say that I've been in some meetings with the Chamber of Commerce, and this is a project they refer to as Project Accelerate. And they have mentioned in how that this would be a good project for Madison County, and I know how time sensitive, they were talking about it was if we don't, in Madison County, provide a site, this project could go elsewhere. So I just want you to know that.
Require a second reading?
No, sir. This would be the final step in them being able to go forward.
And in the process then, the residents of that area, all of them have been notified of this project.
Yes, sir. We did notify all property owners within 500 feet of the property.
Commissioner Bush.
I certainly don't want to slow down a project that potentially is going to bring new jobs to the county, but I will say as one of the commissioners, along with Commissioner Wall, who represents District 9, we didn't know anything about this project or the zoning request, and I guess just in the future, I think it would be good if the commissioners from affected districts had more information from the planning department. I'm going to vote to go forward with it because, again, I don't want to slow it down, but I think we're in a little bit of a difficult position when we have people in our district who are asking questions and we haven't been informed about it.
Commissioner Wall.
Absolutely, and one of the things that Commissioner Bush is talking about, and Stan was talking about too, out of all the people that have contacted me, and I have their contact information here, and I will be more than glad to share that, none of them knew anything about this, none of them, until today, when I spoke to one of the teachers that live in one of the houses, and of course she got on the phone after that and talked to everybody, then that's when the calls started coming in. So they had not gotten any kind of information at all as far as, and they are within 500 feet of the proposed area, and they're all telling me that they did not receive any information about this until they heard about it today. So that's kind of the biggest reason why, I would really just like the time, if possible, to be able to, I don't want to hold up a project like this, and, if the tenants were here to kind of confirm and to guarantee that buffer was there, it's going to remain there, that would be one thing, but I really would like a chance to be able to sit down with them and talk to them about what their plans are for sure, to kind of get some guarantees there, and also to be able to satisfy the questions of our constituents over there. That's all.
That's actually EDA will require that buffer to remain. That's outside of our control.
Mayor.
As far as the specifications as far as the buffer, you can vote to put those on there, like the buffer you're talking about. Now, you can't touch it because it's wetlands anyway. But if the commission, now you correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, if the commission puts a contingency on there, it stays on there with the zoning, correct?
If we contingency, yes, if you put contingencies on it, it would be provided with the approval.
just a procedural point. You've made a motion to table, but no one's actually made a motion to.
No one seconded either. Oh, yeah, time.
Yeah, that was seconded, but I don't believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe anyone's actually made a motion to approve this yet. There's not a motion on the floor to be tabled, unless I missed it. So, just a little
No,
proceed.
there's no motion on the floor.
Brought it from the committee to.
Well, but I
There's no
think.
motion.
Just brings it to you as a
They bring it to you, but for it to, procedurally, for it to proceed, someone then needs to make a motion to follow that recommendation. And then once that motion is seconded, it's on the floor, then if someone wants to table it or what have you, go from there. So just.
Commissioner Bush.
I'll make a motion to approve the request for the rezone, and I'd like to place on that motion the contingency that we talked about to allow for that buffer zone that TDEC is going to require, just to ensure that that's something that we voted on and that the people who live in that neighborhood will know that there's that buffer there between the facility and the neighborhood.
Have a motion, do I have a second? Have a second, Commissioner Mercer. Discussion?
I was just gonna say that the motion to table would be moot at this point then, right?
The original motion to table that you made is moved. You were moving to table a motion.
That's fine. I was gonna retract.
Roll call? No, we're voting on the motion.
Alexander. Yes. Arnold. Yes. Beckham.
Yes.
Brantley.
Yes.
Brown Claudel. Brown Scott.
Yes. Yes.
Bryant. Bush.
Yes.
Compton.
Yes.
Deaton.
Yes.
Ellison.
Yes.
Goblin.
Yes.
Hale.
Yes.
Johnson Arthur.
Yes.
Johnson Barber. Martin.
Yes.
Mercer.
Yes.
Montague.
Yes.
Pearson. Petty.
Yes.
Spearman. Stevenson.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Wall.
Yes.
I heard 19 yes, Mr. Chairman.
19 yes.
You will move forward.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, County Commissioner.
Thank you, Stan.
Thank you, guys.
Stan, as always, you do an excellent job.
Well, thank you, sir.
I didn't know who you was behind that mask.
At least know I got a fan club on.
Item number 12, resolution approving a transfer of funds from general project funds to general purpose school funds.
Mr. Chairman, this is a resolution that goes along with the budget amendment that was passed for the $2,500,000, and Superintendent King can address about the transfer between the two funds that he's requesting.
So, this came out of committee?
This came from the financial manager.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, sir.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 13, consideration possible acceptance of the additional retirement incentive group for our county employees. Ms. Bell.
Mr. Chairman, HR Director Tony White is unable to be here tonight, so I told him I would present the spreadsheet. If you'll remember at Financial Management Committee, there was discussion about including some more employees in the retirement incentive plan. These are employees that have been under TCRS that possibly have not been at the county for 30 years, but have 30 years of service under the Tennessee Consolidated Retirement System. So this is just opening that up to them to also be eligible to go ahead and retire, and would render quite a bit of savings to the county if this is adopted.
This was a committee recommendation. Any discussion?
Committee recommendation?
Yeah. Committee recommendation, fine.
And I would just add, for informational purposes, the offer, if you approve it, will be open for a 45-day period. The original offer you made was also for 45 days. That would be extended and joined into this, so it would be 45 days from now.
Does everybody understand what this motion is? Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 14, appointment of one liaison to the Airport Authority, liaison by this body, one-year term, Tommy Gobble, incumbent. Have a motion by Scott Brown to approve. Do I have a second? Second by Ms. Brantley. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 15, appoint one member three members to the Beer Commission by this body, two-year term. Commissioner Arnold, Commissioner Johnson, Barbara Johnson, and Commissioner Carl Alexander, incumbent.
Motion to reappoint.
Have a motion to reappoint by Commissioner Hale.
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Beckham. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 16, appointment of 7 members to the Cable and Communications Committee by this body, a one-year term. Scott Brown, Cindy Bryant, Barbara Johnson, William Martin, Adrian Montague, Joey Hale, and Aaron Ellison, incumbent. Y'all got doubts?
Move to reappoint.
Commissioner Mercer to reappoint.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Compton. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? None. Capital Committee, appointment of 7 members to the Capital Committee by this body, one-year term, Jason Compton, Katie Brantley, Joey Hale. They would be Joey Hale is correct. Arthur Johnson, Brett Beckham, Tommy Gobble, Jay Bush, incumbent. So moved by Commissioner Arnold, second by Commissioner Brantley. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item 18, appointment of 7 members to the Commissioner Petty.
Thank you, sir. On the vacant seat, I move that we appoint Jeff Wall to fill that position.
This will be on the Commissioner rules of the Bylaws Committee by this body, 4-year term. You're appointing Commissioner Jeff.
I'm sorry, I'm ahead of myself. Rescind that.
Commissioner Wall.
Skip number 18, I think. Is it 18, the vacant seat by Commissioner Spain? Yes. Okay, so we can skip that, Chairman. We already voted on that.
On which one?
Number 18.
Who do we appoint for that?
Brett Beckham.
Brad Beckham, yeah, we've already voted on that. That was only 1 member.
Well, according to the agenda, it's the appointment of all members.
All members, yeah.
So you handle the vacancy.
And we don't have them on there. Who are they?
So I think you need to, the other members currently are Jeff Wall, Chairman, Terry Spearman, Vice Chairman, Katie Brantley, Arthur Johnson, Mike Taylor, Luther Mercer, myself, and Fred Birmingham are ex officio members of that committee.
Do I have a motion? Have a motion, Commissioner Martin. Second by Commissioner Mercer. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. That committee is filled now, correctly. Number 19, appointment of 1 member to the liaison to the Economic Development Committee by this body, 1-year term, Tommy Gobble, incumbent.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. We need to postpone item number 20 to next month. Item 21, appoint 1 member to the Educational Foundation Committee by this body, 3-year term, Marcus Love, incumbent.
So moved.
Have a motion by Commissioner Petty, second by Commissioner Compton. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item 22, appointment of 7 members, at-large members, to the Educational Vision Committee by this body, a 2-year term, Jimmy Arnold, Jeff Wall, Claudel Brown, Cindy Bryant, Terry Spearman, Tommy Gobble, Barbara Johnson, incumbent.
So moved.
Commissioner Mercer makes a motion to approve, second by Commissioner Brown. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item 23, appointment of 1 member to the liaison to the Enrichment and Development Center by this body, 1-year term, Claudel Brown, incumbent.
So moved.
Have a motion by Commissioner Hale, second by Commissioner Brantley. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item 24, appointment of 4 members to the Excess and Resale Property Committee by this body, a 1-year term, James Pearson, Aaron Ellison, Brett Beckham, and our county mayor, incumbent, and we have 1 vacant seat.
Martin, he said, William Martin.
Okay. We have a motion to add the vacancy to William.
I'll make a motion for Joey Hill to be added to the vacancy.
Second.
Wait, first off, we have Mr. Martin.
Mr. Martin.
And you made who?
Joey Hill.
Joey Hale. Have a motion for Martin and Mr. Hale. Roll call. How we gonna vote?
You want me to go, Mr. Chairman?
We're voting on all the previous members, plus you gotta vote for one of the other, Martin or Joey Hale.
Mr. Chairman, I would recommend that you vote on the existing members first and get that
Okay.
out of the way, and then do.
Let's vote on the existing members first. All in favor of the existing members, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Now we're voting either a vote for Commissioner Martin or Commissioner Hale.
Alexander.
What committee was this?
Arnold.
The resale. Excess resale.
Excess and resale
This is
property.
the property that they pick up.
Beckham.
Hale.
May I say
Sir.
this?
Hale.
Commissioner Brown?
Okay, Mr. Pearson, he's not here, and he called my attention to that, and he was intending to say this, that, it was in our area, these, properties that we're talking about. That's what he said. So that's something for us to think about.
I'm not sure what you said, Ms. Brown. What now?
The most of the sales are in the areas where he is.
Oh, okay,
Yes. And
Okay.
he's for medical reasons, really, he's not here.
okay.
You passed, correct?
No, I said Hale.
Yeah, all right, thank you. Brantley.
For William Martin.
Thank you, ma'am. Brown Claudel. Brown Scott.
Hale.
Bryant. Bush.
Hale.
Compton.
Hale.
Deaton.
Hale.
Ellison.
Martin.
Gobble.
Martin.
Hill.
Hale.
Thank you. Johnson Arthur.
Hale.
Johnson Barber. Martin.
Martin.
Mercer.
Martin.
Montague.
Martin.
Pearson. Petty.
Hale.
Spearman. Stevenson.
Hale.
Taylor.
Hale.
Wall.
Hale.
Heard correctly. I've got 10, 7, 2 pass.
I got 10 for Hale, 7 for Martin, 2 pass. Huh? I can't hear you.
It's 11.
Fred got it right.
Fred got it right?
Which one I hear wrong?
You said it's 11 and 7, still
No,
not
never
enough.
mind, he's wrong.
10, 7.
Yes, Fred's right.
So what do we do?
Well, you requires 13 votes.
Scott Brown, you voted for Hill?
Yes.
All right, thank you, sir. I missed that. It's 11, 7, 1 pass.
Requires 13 votes to conduct any of your business. That's a majority of the commission. Even with Mr. Spain's passing, 13 votes is still a majority, so it's unfilled.
Unfilled, and we'll have to go back, it'll be on the next month.
Next month.
Yes, sir.
That'll be on the agenda next month. Item number 25, appointment of 4 members to the liaison to the fire department by this body, 1-year term. Jimmy Arnold, Arthur Johnson, Carl Alexander, and James Pearson incumbent.
So moved.
Have a motion by Commissioner Mercer, second by Commissioner Ellison. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. #26, appointment of 7 members to the insurance committee by this body, 1-year term. Brett Beckham, Gary Deaton, Doug Stevenson, Jason Compton, Luther Mercer, Aaron Ellison, and Jay Bush, incumbent.
Move reappointment.
Have a motion to approve. Second by Commissioner Brown. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 27, appointment of 2 members to the JACOA. By this body, 1-year term, Jacoa William Martin, Cindy Brown, incumbent. Brown. Have a motion to approve by Commissioner Brantley, second by Commissioner Hale. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? None. Appointment of 1 member to the Liaison to the Jackson Art Council. By this body, 1-year term, Barbara Johnson, incumbent. Commissioner Mercer make the motion to approve. Do I have a second? Second by Commissioner Wall. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? None. Item 29, appointment of 7 members to the Legislative Resolution Committee. By this body, 1-year term, Jason Compton, Katie Brantley, Scott Brown, Jay Bush, Terry Spearman, Harold Petty, Adrian Montague, incumbent.
So moved.
So moved by Commissioner Hale, second by Commissioner Arnold. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 30, appointment of 2 members to the Library Board. By this body, 1-year term, Katie Brantley, Scott Brown, incumbent.
Make a motion.
Commissioner Gobble makes motion to approve, second by Commissioner Martin. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 31, appointment of 7 members to the Personnel Committee. By this body, 1-year term, Katie Brantley, Claudette Brown, Gary Deaton, Joey Hale, Aaron Ellison, Cindy Bryant, incumbent, and 1 vacant seat.
I move we reappoint Brantley, Brown, Deaton, Hale, and Bryant, and that we appoint Taylor and Beckham.
I second that.
Read that list again.
Reappoint Brantley, Brown, Claudel, Gary Deaton, Joey Hale, Cindy Bryant, and appoint Mike Taylor and Brett Beckham.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. So we voted for Katie Brantley, Claudette Brown, Gary Deaton, Joey Hale, Cindy Bryant, Brett Beckham, and Mike Taylor. Item number 32, appointment of several members of the Property Committee. By this body, 1-year term, Jason Compton, Claudette Brown, Joey Hale, Adrian Montague, Errol Petty, Jay Bush, incumbent, 1 vacant seat. Commissioner
Chairman,
Petty.
I move we reappoint the present and the vacant seat, Jeff Wall.
Second.
Have a motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 33, appointment of 2 members to the Recreation Board. By this body, 1-year term, Harold Petty and Luther Mercer, incumbent.
So moved.
So moved by Commissioner Wall. Do I have a second? Second by Commissioner Brown. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. We're on 34. Appointment of 8 members to the Risk Management Committee, Safety Committee that is by the Insurance Committee. And this, was this brought up in the Insurance Committee? Put it on next month's agenda. Item number 35, appointment of 3 members to this body, with the liaison to the Senior Citizen Center. By this body, 1-year term, Cindy Bryant, Aaron Ellison, Terry Spearman, incumbent. So moved by Commissioner Arnold, seconded by Commissioner Wall. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Appointment of 7 members to the Solid Waste Committee. By this body, 1-year term, Arthur Johnson, Scott Brown, Jay Bush, Carl Alexander, William Martin, Luther Mercer, and Joey Hale, incumbent.
Mr. Chairman, so moved.
So moved by Commissioner Petty, second by Commissioner Mercer. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 37, appointment of 3 members to the Sportsplex Tax Revenue Oversight Committee. This body, 1-year term, Larry Lawrence, Gary Deaton, and John Newman, incumbent.
So moved.
Have a motion and second. Any discussion? It's been brought up that possibly, is there a need for this body anymore? And I think it may be wise for us to look into that, discuss it, and put it on next month's agenda. All in favor say aye. Be on next month's agenda then.
Show me as a pass, Mr. Chairman.
Huh?
Show me as a pass.
Show Jason as a pass.
Pass also.
Carl Legler passes. Item number 38. We're getting there. Appointment of 1 member to the Symphony Association by this body, 1-year term, Brett Beckham, incumbent. So moved by Commissioner Hale, second by Commissioner Arnold. I get it backwards? It's all right. Number 39, appointment of 4 members to the West Tennessee Healthcare Board. 1-year term, Katie Brantley, Barbara Johnson, Cindy Bryant, and Jeff Wall, incumbent. Motion by Commissioner Brown, seconded by Commissioner Beckham. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? None. Number 40, appointment of 2 members to the West Tennessee Hearing and Speech Center by this body, 1-year term, Jeff Wall, incumbent, 1 vacant seat. 1 vacant seat. Do I have a nomination?
I'll nominate Joe Hill for that position, Chairman.
Joey Hale's been nominated.
I would move to reconsider. What? That's not a motion, okay? Calm down.
We have Jeff Wall and Joey Hale. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. And 1 no, Joey Hale. Item 41, appointment of 4 members to the West Tennessee River Basin Authority by this body, 1-year term, Bedford Byram, Carl Alexander, Aaron Ellison, and James Jimmy Stanford, incumbent. Motion to approve by Commissioner Mercer, second by Commissioner Martin. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item 42, appointment of 1 member to the Educational Vision Committee by the Budget Committee. Did the Budget Committee make an appointment?
Mr. Chairman, we have not met to make this appointment.
Put it on next month's agenda.
Thank you.
Appointment of 1 member to the Educational Vision by Finance Management. We didn't appoint anyone either, did we? Next month's agenda. 44, appointment of 1 member to the Educational Vision Committee by the Private Committee. Next month's agenda. 45, appointment of 1 member of the Educational Vision Committee by the Capital Committee.
We have not.
Next month's agenda.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I should have brought this up earlier, but I didn't. Ms. Bell and I have attended 2 recent meetings with the jail medical team, and I'd like to move that we authorize her to get with the sheriff and to set up some specs for a future bid. This term, this contract expires in June of next year. So we're spending about $1.3 million on that contract. So I think we owe it. I don't know that we can do any better than what we've got now, but we owe it to the taxpayers to try. So I would like to make a motion that we authorize her to get with Captain Rudder and pursue the specs for next year.
Mary Bell.
I just want to say, I crunched numbers. I don't know anything about jail medical services. I can tell you what it says, but that would take the expertise of Captain Rudder and some of the jail staff and the sheriff involved with that. So I just want to make sure everyone understands that I'll be more than happy to work with whomever the commission decides, but there is no way that I can write specs for a jail medical contract.
Motion fails like a second.
services too.
Item number 46, election of notary public. Have a motion? Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item 47, any and all matters related to the connection with matters set forth in items 1 through 46 at this time. Yes, Commissioner Alexander.
We have a fire liaison committee. We've talked amongst ourselves before the meeting started tonight. We're going to try to meet October the 29th at 10 a.m. Work it out with the fire chief and the 3 of the 4 committee members that are here tonight.
Commissioner Martin.
Yes, sir, can we go back to item 31? Did we take Commissioner Harry Ellison off that committee?
They did, yes.
Invitation being why he not been coming to the meeting, or just been more than the third? I mean, I'm just trying to find out. I mean, he's not been showing up. I mean, just been more than the third.
He had missed several meetings. We haven't met a ton, but there was two out of the last 3 that he's missed, and then part of it, I think he was either out of town. It's not definitely not anything personal. I think I'm trying to put together a committee that can bring forward like-mindedness and like a cohesive. That's why Claudia Brown and Ms. Kitty Brantley and the members that are on board have maybe a stronger personnel background that can come together and bring a cohesive plan together for our handbook.
That's bullshit, hell.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Okay. Point of order. Point of order.
Point of order.
I have the floor, and I don't appreciate your language, sir. I don't appreciate it, and I would like to finish. Mr. Ellison's comments in the last few personnel meetings that he has attended haven't made a lot of sense. And I'm not wanting to publicly go into it. If we'd like to have a sidebar, I'd happily do that. But I don't think it is wrong for others to take part in committees. He's been on the committee for 2 years. Rotating off is not a personal thing.
No, so you all served for years and years.
Did he vote against it? It was clear what the motion was.
But I didn't catch it at that particular time.
Okay, well, it wasn't anything sneaky. We did it all in front of everybody.
I didn't say nothing about it.
It was done simply because you took the man off before you got here. And that, if he's on that committee, if they want to add to the committee, fine. Don't take this man off the committee because he don't like it, because he don't like what he said in the meeting. But, everybody has an opinion. So, this thing is personal, whatever. But he needs to stay on that committee. And I don't think.
Well, he's been voted off the committee, Commissioner Mercer, with the process has been gone through, we had the vote, we had 13 votes, we have the members that are there. Commissioner Ellis.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, I would like to thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak. I thank Commissioner Martin and Commissioner Mercer for speaking up for me. But I know why I'm wrong. That's okay. But that's not going to stop me. And I want this commission to know that. What I said in the meeting last meeting, I stand on it. And you hear more from me. Thank you.
Not only we gotta, if people, if a person miss 3 meetings, they take him off. But when he comes to the commission, if he decides to go back on there and he's gonna attend the meeting, you have a good reason, they put him back on there. So, if you vote on whatever, he needs to stay on that committee. And we,
Mr. Hale.
if we're gonna start getting personal in here and, doing things that's, underhanded, then we're gonna have a problem. But if
I think we went through the process, there was nothing underhanded. I think
it was underhanded, because somebody decided to take him off before he got here.
Before we got here?
Before we got in the meeting. And they got the person's name to do it. It wasn't done underhanded.
Commissioner Martin.
We need to be careful, mindful, how we treat people. Because when you don't treat people right, it will come back to bite you. Everybody is fair, everybody equal here. You might not agree with what his comment, but nobody agree with everybody's comment no way. But it don't mean that you put them off the committee because you don't agree with it. You sit down, you got to learn how to agree to disagree. That's what life is all about. Learn how to agree to disagree. And we need to start doing things fair and right up here. We don't need to just too long since I've been here. Yeah. And when are you gonna start doing it right? People are watching, people are looking at you. You might not care, but they are.
Commissioner Hale.
I'm saying it was racial thing. Like, put a white person in there. Took him on racial.
I honestly don't appreciate
I don't care what you
being accused of racism, okay? It has nothing to do with the person's skin, okay?
took the black one out, put the white one on there.
There's nothing wrong with the way that we've done things. Is there anything in our rules?
No, we went through the process.
That don't allow? Is there any written or unwritten rule that doesn't allow for votes to be cast? That's what occurred today. And I realize that you feel like it was underhanded. It's not. We're just gonna have to agree to disagree. It had nothing to do with anyone's skin color. And I reject it, and I would like an apology, because I'm not acting in a racist manner. I've never been accused of being racist, and I don't appreciate it.
We just had.
Have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion second, roll call.
Alexander. Yes. Arnold. Beckman. Grant.